In this video, we will learn about a very basic flow control statements like if else. So those of you who know if else statements in C, C++ or Java, this will look very familiar. There are some simple syntax changes, except that everything should be exactly the way you know it in C or C++, logically speaking at least. So let's look at a very simple statement. So what it does, so this statement does, if you write an expression, I'll show you what an expression is. You write a text expression. If that is true, there is a semicolon at the end here. Sorry, there is a colon at the end. Sorry, not a semicolon. There is a colon at the end. And any statement which is indented, indentation here, just to quickly recap for you, is basically 4 spaces, and that's a good programming habit. Or you could use a tab, but I recommend you to use 4 spaces, right? So everything which is indented will get executed whenever this statement is true. So let's see an example. I think that's what makes it simpler. This is a simple flow chart, but let's look at it from an example. That will make life, and that will make it much easier. Imagine if I declare, if I assign a value of 10 to a variable num, and if I say if num is greater than 10, this is my test condition, right? This is the condition that I'm testing, right? And what is the result of this? Num is not, because num equals 10, this is false. When this is false, it won't run everything that, so this is indented, right? This line is indented, so it won't run this. So the output of this is, this will always print. So what happens is, once the indentation is over, so your if and print are at the same level. This print, the second print and if are at the same level, right? Since they're at the same level, after your indentation, your basically code will run as follows. It will go in this. If this condition is true, it will go in, or else it won't, and then it will continue as soon as the indentation is over, right? So let's just quickly change this and see a few examples. So if I say num double equal to 10, right? Now what should happen? It should print both these lines, right? So yeah, it does print both of them. Similar, so there's a small variation here. Everything which is 0. So what if I just give it 0? For example, if I do num minus 10, num minus 10 is 0, right? Then what happens? 0 is taken as false in Python, right? Every non-zero value, if I put minus 1 here, minus 1 is taken as true, plus 1 is taken as true. Everything is taken as true except 0 and none. So if I give the keyword none, none basically means absence of anything, right? None, and so just to quickly tell you that, so 0, none, sorry, 0, none, and false are considered as false. Everything else is considered as true. So everything else is considered as true when you're evaluating statements, okay, in Python at least. So your minus 1 will become true, right? So this might be slightly different from other programming languages. So this is something to note. The next type of statement, again, let's go through an example. There's a flow chart here and all that, but always looking through examples is better. So what happens in a statement like this? If num is greater than 0, so I'm assigning exactly 10 to num. If num is greater than 0, always remember there is a colon here, unlike other programming languages. People who come from C, C++ do not use this. And see, how do you write this? If num is greater than 0, execute these statements, else execute these statements, right? This is how we write it in C, right? So unlike that, what we do here is, if num is greater than 0, positive number, which means 10 is greater than 0, right? So it will print this, as you would expect. Else, if this is not true, it will print this, right? Very, very simple and straightforward. So there is also a slightly different, we are people who come from the C world know if and else. So there is also something called elif. Elif is nothing but else if, okay? Elif needs to be read as else if, just for simplicity. So let's see how it works, okay? So if I give a value of, if I give a value of 10.5, a float value to num, and now when I run this, let me just quickly run this for you. I'm trying to run this for you. Small hiccup here. Yes. Yes. I hope I can. Yes. Now we can run it. So we get a value of positive number as soon as I run it. Now, if I say, if I declare my num to be 0, what happens? Okay, let's run that. You get a value of 0 because what happened here, right? Your output here is 0 as soon as I ran it. Now what's happening here is, first it will check if number is greater than 0. It's not. Then it will go to else if or elif. Now it will check if number equals to 0. If it is 0, it will print this and the else won't be printed. It will just go to this line. Whatever line is there after your if, elif, else, right? So elif, if you want to think about it, you should read it as else if, right? So if you have multiple conditions that you need to check in an if else, you could just use this. You could say if condition 1, elif condition 2, elif condition 3, so on and so forth, else is if not any of the above, right? This is how you do this is elif is slightly different from other programming languages. So now let's look at nested if else's. Nested if else's are very, very straightforward. So for example, let's look at it like this. So the same thing that we saw using elif can be written without using elif. So let's see how to write it. I could say if number is greater than or equal to 0. So let's assume my number is 10.5, right? So this condition is true. So remember, all these lines are indented at this. So this whole thing will be executed because of the indentation, right? See, this indentation is longer than this. So this is, whenever you have indentation in C, you can think of it as this. Okay, of course it's not explicitly written in Python, but that's if you're coming from a C, C++ or Java world, you can think of this as a block which is surrounded by curly braces. Now as soon as you come in, now it will check if number equals to 0. If it is 0, yes, it will print 0, else it will print positive number, right? So this is this block of code here is like a regular if else, except that this if else is inside an if, right? This is called nesting because we have if inside an if, and so we have an if else inside an if, right? And you can have multiple levels of nesting. You can have nestings like this: if, else, else. So this is 3-level nesting, right? Because inside an if you have an if, inside an if you have an if, and look at it, right? So as soon as you have this very nice structure of indentation, you'll get the order much more easily instead of you having these blocks. As a good programming practice, even when you're writing code in C, you're asked to put indentation. So if your if condition is here, right, you're asked to put some indentation or gap here so that your code is much more readable. Python forces you to do that as a matter of design so that your code looks much more crisp and clean and clear. So let's do a very small example, a very, very simple, I would call it toy example. Okay, imagine if you're given 3 numbers and you want to find the largest of the 3 numbers, right? Very, very simple. Let's do it using if, elif. Okay, suppose I have 10, 50, and 15, num1, num2, num3, 3 variables taking these 3 values. So the logic is like this: if number 1 is greater than number 2, and this is logical and, this is your logical and if number 1 is also greater than number 3, then we know the largest number is num1, right? Else, if both these conditions are not true, then else, if number 2 is greater than number 1 or greater than equal to, and number 2 is greater than equal to number 3, then your largest number is number 2. If neither number 1 or number 2 are the largest, then of course number 3 is the largest. This is a very, very simple example of using if else. And of course, if I run this, you'll get the largest number to be 50, as you would expect. Straightforward. So if else's are very, very important when you want to control how your code is being executed, right? Only when a condition is true, you want a snippet of code to run, right? This is the C syntax, or I've mixed syntax here. Again, if you're programming in multiple languages, it's very, very common to mix up syntaxes. I've been programming in 2 to 3 languages at any given time, typically Python, R, and sometimes Java. So I mix up code like crazy and get errors left and right. But yeah, my preference is always to Python. If you give me an open-ended problem, I would typically try to do it with Python because it's much more elegant, easy, and there are tons of libraries to help me do my work better, right? So yeah, this is simple if else. We'll look at other examples of control flow like while loop, for loop, etc. in the subsequent videos.